Hey everybody, it's Bust. We're kicking off expedition number 204. Let's see what shows up. Got the 7 win, 7 win in the last one, the big 14 winner. Always feels good. Let's see if there's anything a little different here. And cool, there's some reasonable choices. All of these can take the distance. I don't really like starting out with this Hecarim anymore. I just don't think it's particularly good. What I think this tends to happen with this more often than not is you just have to take Ionia and then hope that all of these Z cards fall to you. We used to have some like really strong decks with Hecarim to where we try to just make copies of Hecarim, whether or not it's with the Rekindler or with the Ionia cards that make duplicates of things like the what is it, like Shadows and Dust? Not Shadows and Dust, that's the card pool. The 6 mana spell that makes 2 copies of a guy, or the unit that puts copies of cards in your hand. You just play Hecarim over and over again. It's just not quite good enough to try to do that anymore. This is a very good like support pack. Hecarim is still a very strong champion on his own. Neverglade Collector, of course, extremely strong card. But again, it's not a card pool I'm really excited to be building around at this stage of the game. So it's either going to come down to this Tryndamere or this Fiora. Both of these are fine. This is a pretty reasonable Tryndamere start, even though we don't really like the Ancient Evil card pool. And then Fiora, we're really just looking for barriers. I don't like starting without barriers. These cards aren't particularly good. She's really looking for Riposte and Prismatic Barrier, and then to a tier below looking for Radiant Strikes and Sharp Sights. Just Redoubled Valor, Ranger's Resolve are not what we're really looking to do. And then the other big problem I have with this suit up pool is it's a go tall pool where you're trying to just stack up on one unit, and with all of the additional unconditional removal and silence cards out of Call of the Mountain just makes this a little bit weaker, right? They've added in Crumble and Shadow Isles. They added in the thing that shuffles a unit away in Bilgewater. There's Sunburst and Hush out of Targon. Just lots of cards that really take advantage of you stacking up on top of one unit. So all that said, looks like we're going to be jumping in on this Ancient Evil Tryndamere. So let's take a moment, we'll get it pulled up on the site. If you're not familiar, it is ftpbus.com. It's where I keep all of a collection of my YouTube stuff. The tier lists are available here. The set reviews whenever the cards come out. That should be updated here soon. If the timing is right on how I think this works, I think the new cards will start coming out a little under 2 weeks from now. This will come out. This video should come out on Monday the 30th, and then I think the next set of cards comes out on December the 8th, 9th, or 10th, whatever the release schedule works for this game now. So whenever those new cards come out, we'll get the review going. But nonetheless, back on track here. We're going to be in the Expedition Helper section. We're going to scroll down to Tryndamere. This is the Ancient Evil card pool. And kind of the idea with this one is that we're just going to play all of these early game units, be it Avarosian, the big ones being Avarosian Sentry, Lonely Poro, and Omenhawk. Those are all just, going to stall the board, get into combat, and die. And then we're going to finish out the games with either They Who Endure or Tryndamere himself. It's a reasonable strategy, but this pool has a lot of bloat to it. I don't think these Yetis are quite good enough to be pursuing. Yeti Yearling is okay. I mainly mark these Yetis as X's because I don't want you to get the idea that you should be drafting them. Tall Tales is horrible. Yeti Yearling, you will not be upset if it doesn't appear in your deck. And then kind of Ancient Yeti falls in the same boat. There's just not enough payoff here to be trying to run these Yetis. And so what we typically see with this card pool is, it has this really good early game, has really good late game, doesn't have anything in the middle, and it doesn't have any way to interact. Your interaction is basically limited to combat, either by using Stalking Wolf or using Caught in the Cold. And so we typically use this as a more of a supporting card pool and try to fill in with something else. But we'll just have to kind of see how it goes. And as as far as support card pools go, this is a pretty good start. Lonely Poro is a great 1-drop. Just easily threatens 2 for 1. Super easy to get value out of these. Shared Spoil is not huge on, but that's pretty easy to get a bit of value out of. It's not super hard to have 2 spare mana and give a little bit of extra value to your deck. Okay, interesting set. So the things I see here, I don't really like pairing up the Black Mist Nocturne with Shadow Isle, or I'm sorry, that's the Shadow Isles. I don't like pairing it up with Freljord. I either want this to be paired up with another Shadow Isles champion so that we can dive in on Mist Wraiths, or I want this to be paired up with a Targon champion so we can do Nightfalls. Just not a very synergistic card pool with Tryndamere. So with these other two, both of these are reasonable. If we want to go after the plunder theme, we already have one plunder card out of Freljord. Gangplank really likes these plunders. That's a pretty reasonable way to go about it here. And then if we want to try to slide into Noxus Overwhelms, we could do it with Darius. The problem with this Darius card pool is it doesn't have very many good cards in it. Like if we take a look at Darius and Disruption, we're really looking for in the 3-cost spot. We're looking for the 4/3. I can never. I'm so bad at remembering card names. The 4/3 Overwhelm for 3, and then after that, we're really looking for the more expensive style Overwhelm. So we can just go into a full Overwhelm deck, and these just don't really exist here. This has some reasonable early game and Precious Pet. But after you get away from Precious Pet, it's just good interactive spells. There's no good units actually in this card pool. If we're getting into Overwhelms, we really want to be in either Nox and Might or Blood on the Ice. So I think we're going to have to let this one go. We're going to jump in on this Mega Keg Gangplank, try to put together a plunder deck. I'm not a huge fan of Mega Keg in comparison to whatever Raiding Party is the other one. But let's see what we're getting ourselves into. The big thing I like to call out is, we're really looking to do two things here. If we're wanting to level up our Gangplank, he's the champion that we're going to have to be going after here. We can't be playing 3 Tryndameres, so we're going to play 3 Gangplanks. We need to be dealing damage to our opponent on their turn, and so the easy way to do that is with Make It Rain. To a lesser degree, you can do it with something like Double Up, but that's fairly expensive. But the big way that we'll be trying to deal damage to our opponents is with Make It Rain. And this has kind of double duty in this card pool, in that this is the best card that we can be upgrading with Powder Kegs. And so we're going to be looking for quite a few Make It Rains. If we could pick up 2 or 3, that would be great. And then the other thing kind of going on here is this pool does have good early game in it, between the Deckhand and Jagged Butcher. It doesn't have very much mid or late game in it. So that's kind of the problem that we're going to be running into, is if we don't have a lot of Freljord cards like Omen Hawks or Shared Spoils to make our cards bigger, we're probably just going to lose control of the mid game and not have time to get our Gangplanks or our Tryndameres online. So we're going to have to try to find a way to get some mid game into our deck. And then the big problem, in my opinion, with these Freljord Bilgewater pairings is there's just no removal. Make It Rain isn't really going to kill anything, and then after Make It Rain, we just have Scrap Shot, which is a good card, but we can't be playing 2 and 3 Scrap Shots; it's just too expensive. So we'll have to see if we can pick up anything else. And so lastly, with the last thing I like to call out with this Mega Keg deck is we don't really want to be playing things like more Powder. If one finds its way into our deck, it's not the end of the world. But if we're going to be making Powder Kegs, we want them to be with Gangplank, with Dreadweight Deckhand, and with Petty Officer, and not specifically with more Powder. It's just too easy for this to just completely be a dead card or not be able to get any value out of it. So let's take a look. We're jumping in on this Gangplank. And what kind of treats do we get here? Well, this is a pretty easy Butcher and Make It Rain. Monkey Business is 100% horrible. I'm okay with letting Scrap Shots go this early in the draft. We're certainly going to want to pick one up, but it doesn't have to be at pick 3. Over here, these Ancient Evil cards are terrible, and then the Make It Rain is what we're looking to build around with a top tier 1-drop. It's pretty good stuff over here. Okay. We do have the option to dive in on Shadow Isles. It's really wanting us to be in the Black Mist today. This isn't what we're looking for. I'm kind of interested in, say, like Noxus or Targon if they show up. They're not going to get a lot of value out of the Shadow Isles. So with these, I do believe I want this Shared Spoils Scar Maiden Reaver. I think we're going to have a real easy time getting these plunders, and the Shared Spoils is going to be a reasonable way for us to get carried a little bit into the mid game. And so I think it's reasonable to take. Scar Maiden Reaver is okay top end. It's not something we're really looking for, but it's fine. I don't think we really need to overdo the 1-drops with like things like Yeti Yearling. There's just plenty of good 1-drops across these pools between Lonely Poro, Omen Hawk, and Shadow Isle, or in Freljord. Things like Jagged Butcher, Pool Shark out of Bilgewater. We just don't really need these Yetis, although it does hurt a bit to give up on some of this interaction. Okay. Interesting. I'm kind of considering Strong Arm. I really don't like Strong Arm, but you know, as I've been saying, it's tough to find this kind of unconditional removal. This one is a fairly weak version of it because it takes so much work to pull off, but it does come with a Make It Rain, which I think we're pretty happy to be taking. If this was something like Lonely Poro, 2 Lonely Poros, Lonely Poro Omen Hawk would be kind of interested, or if it was something like Lonely Poro Ruthless Raider, would be kind of interested, or Lonely Poro Abrosian Sentry. I don't really want these Yeti Yearlings in our deck, and I do like Ruthless Raider in this style of deck. This is how you get your plunders out of Freljord, is with Overwhelms, but I think the Make It Rain is just too powerful to pass up here. Okay, I didn't know this was possible. A Shakedown with Elixir of Iron. This is actually a very strong pack. I think we're okay to take it. The Wave Rider is kind of our ideal top end. If we aren't able to really get these Overwhelms going, I tend to like it in these more just aggro-centric decks. But we don't need to go out of our way for these now. I think we want these interactive elements in Shakedown and Elixir of Iron. Okay, interesting. Wow, these are very powerful. I think I want to just keep going down this path of taking shared spoils while we can. It is rare, so these are going to be a little bit tougher to find, and this does have one of the good mid-game cards in it that we're going to struggle to find. We already have 2 Make It Rains at this point, so these aren't super important to be picking up. I would like to pick up one more if we could. But this isn't super important. And passing on 1-drops hurts a little bit, but I think, you know, our mid game is going to be taken care of by these shared spoils. Okay, cool. Here's a very good Make It Rain with the Crackshot Corsair. Everything we're looking to pick up. Both of these cards down here are terrible, and the monkey cards, I don't think we're going to need to pick up these Spirit Walkers. One of the things we have to consider with our deck is we're planning on picking up 2 more Gangplanks, so we don't really have to go out of our way to pick up a lot of top end. Or if, you know, it really comes down to it, we can pick up a second Tryndamere. It's not something I usually like to do, but that is a possibility. The Gangplank is usually beefy enough that we don't have to go the 2 Tryndamere route. So we don't really need to go out of our way to find any of things like these Spirit Walkers, just kind of like how we, you know, randomly picked up this Scar Maiden Reaver. We'll probably randomly pick up another expensive card like an Alpha Wildclaw or an Epic or something. So we don't really need to go out of our ways to pick these up. Okay. Alright, I think I want the Corsair and the Boxtopus. These are just, the Corsair is just one of the easier ways to kick off these plunders. We don't want a second double up, we don't want more powders, that's an easy pass, and Sleight of Hand is a terrible card. I am interested in picking up a Fury of the North. I'd probably even play 2 of them. It's just the Sleight of Hand is too terrible when we're picking up 2 high quality cards down here. Okay, alrighty. Well, I would love to have Fortune Croaker, but I think this Yordle Grifter is going to be fairly bad here. I mean, it's not the end of the world to have these Yordle Grifters. You know, we're doing a little bit better than coin flipping on hitting that nab. But, you know, we may not need to roll that high for it. I'm not real stoked about how our unit to spell ratio is looking here, because the card I kind of want here is Troll Chant. It's just all around, it's just the easiest way to be spiking 2-for-1s out of these cards. And we don't really have any combat tricks. We have a lot of this like middling stuff and Make It Rain, shared spoils. Certainly not a combat trick. That's what's making me lean towards wanting this Troll Chant. But this is the Croaker is extremely powerful. I think I'm okay to just take the Troll Chant though. If we're able to pick up like 2 Troll Chants, I'll be real stoked with how our units look, or our spells look. Okay. What do we think about picking up Citrus Courier? I'm not a huge fan of this card, and I don't think we want any more Make It Rains. So let's go ahead and skip over that. The only ways that we have to make powder kegs right now are we have the 1 Deckhand and the 1 Gangplank, and so I think we're okay to let these go. These aren't really high powered, so we're good with this. Will really shore up our combat tricks here with the second Elixir of Iron, and then the good Plunder Generator and the whatever he was called, the Ruthless Raider. Okay, here's the kind of 6-drops I'm all about taking with Devourer of the Depths. And we do have some card draw in this deck. You know, we're picking up a Fortune Croaker here. It's not, I'm not going to be real surprised if we pick up another Croaker or like a Pull Shark or two in our trade picks. Maybe we'll pick up an Avarosian Sentry. We have Shared Spoils to kind of filter through our deck faster. This isn't actually, you know, card draw. This is just kind of card cycling. And so, long story short, we may, you know, actually be able to hit deep in this run. If I could actually just take all 6 of these cards, I would be super stoked to do it. But I think the Omen Hawk and Sentry would be our kind of next choice. They might be slightly better, but I do want to pick up a touch of top end for these early game plays. All right. There's so many cards I want in the Butcher and the Merchant, but they're just stacked up with garbage. So at least the Hired Gun can do a bit of interaction. I'm not real stoked about Double Trouble in this deck, but it's better than both More Powder and Monkey Business. Okay. Scar Mother. She's pretty big. I'm trying to think of... We do have a few ways to boost her without being in combat. We have the one Shakedown. We have the one Fortune Croaker. Those are, you know, a little slow for the style thing that we're trying to do, but she's still a very powerful unit paired up with this Mighty Poro. I think I'm okay to do that. I feel like, you know, if we're going to get we're getting a big unit this way. So if we're getting a big unit, I would rather it be the Reaver or Scar Mother. And then I don't want 3 Elixir of Irons. And then I think we have like 2 and 2 of these already, or 2 and 1. Yeah, we have 2 Corsairs, 1 Hired Gun. So I think that'll be okay. I would like to have a second Hired Gun, but let's just go ahead and take these Overwhelms. Help us close out these games. Okay, then I don't think we can make any of these trades. Well, we can probably swap out the Poro. Let's do this one. The idea here is we don't have any of the Ancient Evil payoff cards. We don't see any of that, whatever the thing that grows with all of your dead units. We don't have any Poro combos. So I think that we're more likely to just get value out of these things being 3/3s than we are out of the 2/1/1 units. Excuse me. Okay. Right, that came together reasonably. Yeah. I've never been like super all in on this shared spoils plan, but I think it'll be okay as long as we're kind of a weird mid-rangey deck, right? Because the thing with shared spoils is it's hard to keep playing units while you're playing it, so you know it has to kind of like slow down the game a bit. Oh, come on, bud! You missed the whole draft. Come on. Okay, nonetheless, this seems like a pretty reasonable start. Yeah, I know, bud. I know, bud. You missed the whole draft.
Ours is the one true light.
I'm fine with this. We should be able to get good value out of this hired gun play here. That does make it a touch awkward, but if he just slams his Tayari into our hired gun, I'm pretty okay with that. He just has to do it right. We're going to attack into it next turn, so he might as well make it 2/4.
No, please.
We gotta pop off these shared spoils. Let's see what he does here. So we're guaranteed to get in. That's gonna have to be fine. I don't think we can just pass with all these shared spoils. This will be okay. We have to assume this thing's going to come down here, and then we can hopefully get a reasonable make it rain next turn. Okay.
Let's get him, crew.
Follow the horizon.
Okay, let's put the damage on here.
Fighting ya.
I don't, I don't see how we get out of this just being super awkward, but maybe we'll draw another cheap unit in the next turn. I want to just fully bank here so we can try to do something with this Make It Rain. Okay. A little bit too expensive, Devourer of the Depths.
I've whipped up something special.
We'll just go ahead and pop this off. It's going to be tough for him to play a unit that this Make It Rain will actually kill. And then I want to be able to share spoils again.
This'll send him running.
Right, pretty good chance he just lets this go. But if we get to Devourer of the Depths, his Crescent Guardian, that's pretty huge. Gigantic Tryndamere. Not really the ideal shared spoils target, but make it work.
What would you wish to learn?
This is as timely as that's ever going to get.
A final lesson.
Do not fear the shrouded path.
Okay.
They follow the wrong master.
Gonna have to give up. Well, this is only Zed. Take 8. Is it too greedy to just take this and then try to hit it with a Devourer next turn? Alright, I think I want to keep it from leveling up. If he has a Twin Disciplines, then, you know, that's happened, but I think one of the more common combat tricks will be that stupid Targon Shield, and I would like to be able to try and blast through that. Stupid Targon Shield, name of the card. Oh man, this dude's got all the big boys. How do we pull this off? How we strong arm this this dragon? That's one way to do it. And Aurelian Soul. Man, dude's got all the big boys. Okay.
The heavens diminish without my attention.
So it at least can't flip here. That's one real positive. I think we'd rather just be playing Tryndamere.
Who would face me?
There's no reason to shake down just yet.
Now they'll pay attention. To battle!
Man. Close does that get us? Are we at 9? Let's try this. Let's Poro. I still plan on strong arming this dragon, and then maybe getting a shakedown in here if we can. I think the way that we're probably going to be more likely to win this game though is to get him really low. So let's say we're able to hook Aurelian Soul, get in with these 2 units over here, and then that's not happening. Let's see, can we ever keep this alive? Probably not. Oh, I have to plunder for this stupid thing. Oh man, oh no. I've been playing so much Nightfall, I thought I had to Nightfall this. Shit. Shit, shit, shit.
Live to fight!
Alright, well, I hope we didn't mess that one up too hard. We still have a pretty powerful board
Never yield!
amidst what he has going on here. But that was not ideal. I set up that entire play thinking that I just had to play a spell so that I could Nightfall this. I did this yesterday too, in like the first game that we played. Man, here I'm gonna bank. Yes, we got the plunder, but I want to be able to Nightfall this Eclipse Dragon. I can't believe I did that. That's okay. Still looking pretty good.
No greater gift than knowledge.
Nothing but the stink of blood and sweat.
Like that, I can get some Celestials too. I mean, I think like the big worry here would be if he has like Supernova, and he has to random into these. Supernova being the one that lets you obliterate 2 allies. If he just plays a giant dude here, we're not super worried about it. I don't think he can kill us with like the
Time for walkies, boy!
big elusive. He didn't have it.
You will dwarf all of this. To the stars.
Interesting, because the thing I'm trying to consider here is if we actually have to play the Scourge. With him attacking with Aurelion Soul, I don't think we do. We could just put a shitload of damage onto this, then attack with Tryndamere and try to kill him with the Overwhelms. This is going to fall down to 4 health, and Tryndamere will overwhelm for 6. Mighty Poro will overwhelm for 1, and then we have this double up to try to kill off one of these units. I think I'm pretty okay with that. The Scourge play starts getting worse and worse as time goes on. Right? Is he the way that this game could go absolutely wrong is if we play the Scourge and then he has an Obliterate card.
Now they'll pay attention.
But I mean, is that okay? If he had the Obliterate for Aurelion Soul, he would have just done it, right? I think that's right. Supernova, yeah. That's exactly what I was worried about. We still have a pretty powerful board, though.
Hard to get rich.
I will teach you.
Here if he just drew the Supernova. Doesn't super matter, but... Would have been interesting to know.
Who's a good boy?
Looking for a daring escape?
Okay. Yeah, now the thing I have to worry about is if he... The big elusives are how we're going to lose the game. If he hits like the big Celestial one. Maybe we I still don't know if that was correct to try to play the Scourge or just to open. The Supernova was the big one. It would have been okay if he just had the oh god, that was awful too. Oh, we're playing terrible this game. We should have played Gangplank so that we could double up for a kill. Right? Oh man, we've been punting this. Yeah, I got to slow it down and think a little harder on these things. I think we're still good to play. He doesn't have Overwhelm, so we're probably still good to just play Gangplank.
Your king has returned.
We deserve to lose this one. This is how you take these to 7.
I rarely forget and never forgive.
But he's beyond playing the big elusives at this point, so hopefully we're still okay here.
Shh, quietly.
Yep, should have just won right here.
This way, go.
Unstoppable.
I know a way.
Dear mortal.
Here, we're going to throw the dragon in front of this. We want to keep our Overwhelm over here. Okay, I think we're still okay to win this game, but this is this is one where not real proud of the material putting out this one.
Constellation bow to me. Explosives. My, how they stare. Their bones are splintered.
Aurelian Soul has the most health. This does kill Aurelian Soul as well if he doesn't have additional cards, but
Bow to me.
Don't want any trouble.
alright, still a neg 2. Alright, that was not beautiful Runeterra. Jeez.
Worth it.
Something's wrong.
Alright, we gotta tighten it up. I'm cool with how that game panned out, otherwise, outside of our abysmal misplays, but the shared spoils plan went kind of how I hoped it would. Okay, then I was gonna say we can't always pick up Sejuani's. Gangplank, his flip is terrible. Parlay is not what we're really looking to get out of a flip card. Like if you look at Tryndamere and he's catching Battle Fury, it's kind of expensive. If you look at Sejuani, she has Fury of the North as her flip. It's just picking up these, like a 1 mana as your flip card is fairly awful. This might be the worst flip in the game. But his level 2 is extremely powerful. But nonetheless, like looking at these cards, we don't want monkey business, and so I'm always happy to just never pick monkey business. So I think we're good to just keep going down this Gangplank plan. Ancient Yeti's a reasonable piece of top end. Also plays well to the what are these shared spoils kind of theme, where we want to just let it sit in our hand forever and hopefully drop it on like turn 6 for 2 mana or something. And then our first Fury of the North is excellent. Okay. Gotta plug this Cold Stone Creamery chapstick again. Just good. Tastes like apple pie. Somebody should give me money for saying that kind of stuff, right? It's that kind of endorsement that really brings in the dollars. Okay, nonetheless, let's keep our 1 and our 3 since we're on the odd attacks here, and then look for some cheaper things with our other cards. I get to lead with Corsair. There's only one good one drop that'll actually interact with this, and whatever these are, Ionia Piltover and Inspired Mentor, and they're probably not playing Inspired Mentor in Karma Easy, or Karma Heimer.
Did that sound right?
Okay. I guess we're not in a huge hurry to get this butcher going. We could try to make some kind of double trouble play here, but I don't think that seems particularly good. If we're able to just slam this in and trade it with something, then that would be pretty okay with that. So let's add the Mighty first. It's going to block well here. I don't think we want to double trouble. We can do it next turn if we really need to. I'm not super worried about taking this damage, but I think we should try to stay. We shouldn't be letting him get a bigger board than us. I don't see a real reason to make an elixir play here. I don't really care about keeping any of these units.
The dark beckons.
We'll get him in. Well, if we have elixir of iron, maybe we should slow our roll down just a little bit, protect our mighty Poro. Like, here's the Gangplank Shredder.
I've survived a few winters.
Excuse me?
Bold, aren't you?
I want to get Scar Mother down so I'm not putting blocks out in front of these things. How much do we care to bank? We should probably bank with these Elixir of Irons. It's tough for him to play units that really matter.
Have a mushroom.
Okay, he can't.
Three.
If the electrostatic shocks, that's unfortunate, but not the end of the world. The Shredder was the big one that I cared about. He can't play it without the five normal mana.
Can't fly if you don't try.
Perfect. All right, we're in a pretty good spot here now.
This'll shake him. We'll take what we want.
I'm just going to go ahead and slam this thing in. It's going to get a scrap scuttler, but what else are we ever going to get out of this thing?
You cannot escape.
You can't outrun me.
Seems really good for us. But, I'm surprised to see him be a puff cap deck, but the way we see these puff cap decks is, you know, they're going to get to a critical turn where they just have to throw away all of their units and accept that they're not going to win a combat ever again. You don't want that stage is common and you typically win, but you don't want that at your opponent at 16 health. You're typically expecting this kind of play to happen when your opponent's at like 7.
Eminently logical.
Ye started without me.
They grow up
I think
so
we should probably be able to overwhelm through this game on our next attack.
A sturdy construction. Yeah. How can I help?
It'd be scary if he has like a progress stick, but that's my only like real worry here.
It's smaller than a diagram.
Alrighty, Mount.
In battle.
Here's our play. Just can't hook kill any cards that we actually care about.
Reavers, avenge me.
A sturdy construction. Yeah. Just when I needed assistance.
Okay.
Time to get rich.
We'll try to get this, make it rain in combat.
What a mushroom.
To see how much
help.
health he can put in front of these. Might be better just to let his units die first. That was a big draw. I don't think there's any real fast spells to worry about. He could pick up like a Vengeance or an Atrocity, but
I'm
those
a
won't
peddler,
answer
not a
Tryndamere.
meddler.
Sure, boss.
Would a mushroom help?
we just gonna hit it? Ew, that one was bad. That's just like an actual do nothing, make it rain. Oh, did it hit down here? Is that enough? I can't. They don't show the Oracle eye, so I can't tell what's happening. So we're dealing 1 here and 6 here. Did we hit this thing? I thought it hit this like triangle of units up here. Okay.
Not even a challenge.
I guess we did something right. Fuck it, we probably did it right after that first game. Okay, we can skip all of these. I do want to keep the interaction that we have with the shakedown, and then want to hang on to our overwhelmed mid-gamey kind of plays in the Poro. Don't want more powders, so we can skip over that one. Cruise through this one. They know football's about to start soon, so we gotta you gotta see what happens amidst all the COVID departures. Denver Broncos, no quarterback. Oh, it's the most absurd thing ever. Okay, how reasonable is that start? I don't want to just be like mulliganing for ones, but like the shared spoils could probably go. Make it rain should be good against whatever this guy's doing, whether or not it's the self-damage cards are more likely just build around Callista. Okay.
Let's get
Just
through.
you just draw Corsairs and stuff. These Make It Rains can be a little weak, like if they're playing Cursed Keepers, it gets a touch awkward, but I think it'll be fine. Some of our only interaction here. Hello, our Guardian out. Okie dokie. Got it loaded. It's just Poro here. If we end up having to pass, it's okay. Is this ever worth? Perhaps. I'm gonna clear out all this stuff next turn. I think this is okay. It's just like the later and later that the game goes on, the worse and worse that these Elixir of Irons get. I mean, maybe we should change our tune a little bit when we have a Boxtopus in our hand, but I think all in all it's going to be fairly okay.
There you are!
Okay, well, let's wait till he gets into combat before we drop this. Interesting choice. This guy. So he gets the one onto the Poro for whatever he plans on doing with this. Then we missed out on hitting face, so we can't share spoils this turn. But whatever he wanted these to be at 1 health for, he doesn't seem to have panned off. Unless he just wants to like Vile Feast us next turn. I think if he had Unspeakable Horror, he would have waited until our turn. Okay. Is that our 3rd one?
The chains, they never stop!
Ye started without me.
How important do we think this plunder is? It can't be super important, right? That's just a point of damage on a Jagged Butcher, though.
Let's get to it.
Why? Why would you ever block like this? Put the damage on our gag. Put the damage down here. Come on.
Round and round we go.
Okay.
Shouldn't have done that.
Shouldn't have done that. That's right. Could be big. I like our spot here.
Still see far and clear.
A scar mother does not yield. Another fine
I think there's a whole lot that punishes this. He can't Black Spear. We haven't killed any of his units. Oh, that thing? Okay. I'm over it.
Reavers, avenge me.
So we're going to have a pretty good combat here. We're safe to play this Corsair, given we have Fury of the North to interact how we want, and then Mighty Poro to deal with the Octopus if he plays a card that's particularly scary.
Captain's orders. Bullet to the face.
Ready the torches.
Okay. I think we want to hang on to Fury of the North here.
No.
See if we can get something a little bit stronger
Light the
to save than
signal
that Mighty
fires.
Poro. As this board stands, I'm pretty okay to just throw Jagged Butcher in front of the Scuttlegeist. Throw Gangplank. Pretty good at this game. It's unfortunate that he's not flipped though. Alright, let's bank. There's no reason to get him down on the board right now.
I'd never keep my guests waiting.
Attack thing ad. I'm trying to think of the things we have to try to get our units to flip. Oh,
Neither the flames nor the depths
I think it's okay to just lose a powder keg. Our board's so much more powerful than his.
Delicious.
Let it flow.
Say your farewells.
Seems fine. We don't need to go out of our way to protect this Gangplank since we can Fury of the North later. Now we'll have a hook onto this Callista.
Start the round. Where are you off to?
Ready? Aim. I've got us covered.
Yeah, I guess there's a non-zero chance we just kill him this turn, right? We can Fury of the North down here. He has another Scorched Earth, and that's a bit unfortunate, but okay, good deal. Got him good.
Drink up. The taverns will sing our tale this eve.
Let's see, we just gotta take, I mean, you don't have to take the third Gangplank, but I think it's what we want to do. Is just these Sejuani cards are pretty terrible. And I wish, why does it have to be Parlay? It's just such a bad flip. But, we can make this work. I'm happy to pick up more Yetis, don't really want Citrus Courier. Act Mentality's moderately interesting, but I don't want multiple Tryndameres. Gangplank it is. You gotta make sad noises whenever you say that. Had to check the old fantasy football updates. Sorry to take away my undivided attention. Everybody's got fucking COVID this week. It doesn't really affect my teams or the people I'm playing against, although I did manage to pick up the Saints defense in one of my leagues before before the Broncos announced they didn't have a quarterback. Expecting a lot out of that one. And it'll be too late for you now, but I did notice on Yahoo like last week, Taysom Hill was listed as a tight end the whole week, so you could play a quarterback at tight end. They still have this dude that's supposed to come in for the Broncos as a wide receiver on Yahoo, where I play on all my leagues. I assume that will be updated before the games start. But enough fantasy football musings. Let's jump back in the game here. The old Lee Sin deck paired with Diana. Yeah, this is a reasonable start.
We each hold a world within.
Definitely gonna contest this.
Who's on top of the bounty board today?
Like this, I was considering, like what does the board have to look like where we don't want to play a card so we can share spoils next turn? Because we did run into this in the previous game, like maybe our round one, where we just started sharing the spoils immediately.
Seeds for our future.
In
Yeah, let's get them all in. If he's got a combat trick, he's playing it down here on the Eye of the Dragon and not trying to take down our Crackshot Corsair.
I will teach
So let's
you.
get this damage in. This is weird. Does he just have a way to deal damage to this thing? Why wouldn't he just want to prevent the additional damage? Okay. I think we just want to line up a big open. I don't think he ever attacks here. So let's go ahead and get the Poro down. Then I think we'll probably just be hitting with our Poros next turn.
The spirit gives to
Oh
those
wow,
who
yeah.
listen.
All the epics. Wonder what that feels like. We still just open here. I think this is. Oh, this is so bad though. Like if we open, say he puts Eye of the Dragon here, Mountain Goat here, we are getting our plunder with shared spoils, but then we're just falling so far behind. I think we need to dig a little bit.
These are my rules.
Okay, I'm still going to attack with something because I want this Gangplank to be leveling up every opportunity we get, and then we can shared spoils off of our Crackshot Corsair. Sure. All right, you're the sacrificial. Sorry, friend. But
Bullet to the face.
you're dying. Maybe we should have attacked with Mighty Poro so he tries to block with Eye of the Dragon, and we can Devour of the Depths that way. But
I see it.
to say here, let's play this. Yep. Oh, that's all he's doing with gems. Like, I mean, it gives him a token, but it's not a huge deal. The parlay.
Breathe in, breathe out.
Alright, we got all our big monsters. It's kind of a frightening place to try to be dropping these Devourer of the Depths. Whoa. Does Dragon Kick? Sure. This thing's never going to have less health.
Mother Moon, veil me.
Okay.
Forgive me.
This is reasonable.
Not my first gunfight.
We just need time, I think, right? I'm moderately scared of Elisen, but he's far away from being scary. He does have 2 spells in his hand, but
Tremble before the winter's claw.
this is good. We have good attacks with the Reaver and the Devourer, and then I think we can hopefully get into a spot next turn, on his turn, where we can parlay. We can Gangplank parlay. To try to get a flip, because we can play Gangplank, gonna make a Powder Keg, we can pop Tail of the Dragon for a 2-piece.
Cannot win.
Try to get our Gangplank flip for our attacks next turn. That's the idea.
A misstep.
Probably not gonna have any dead units to where we can make a Powder Keg, but that's the idea. We've made plans. I guess
What is gained when
we don't
you
have to do it that way.
return
Let's see how this plays out, because we could technically play Deckhand Gangplank and then parlay for 3.
Extend your senses. The dragon himself.
Okay,
Join me in battle.
kind of like that. See if we can't just get rid of some of our smaller boys here. We need space for 3 though, so we need 3 units to die if this is gonna pan out. Which seems fairly hard to pull off. Probably just need to have in mind that we'll just win this with our big overwhelms.
My lands need me. Center your spirit.
Make it worth my while.
Yep.
I will not hold back.
Interesting way to go about it.
Son of a...
Down to 2 cards.
Breathe in, breathe out.
So how does all this work, right? Say if we go on this plan, we play Gangplank, he makes a Powder Keg. Since we have a Powder Keg on board, we can play Deckhand, remove the Devourer of the Depths, so that gives us up to 3 if we want. And we just try to parlay this Shadestalker. More likely, I think we should probably try to parlay one of these smaller units.
Dead men tell my tale.
We were
Like, how
peaceful
boned are we if this
once.
parlay goes wrong? It's not the end of the world.
Be nothing left when I'm done.
Just the screams of the dying.
But this gets around every combat trick except a barrier or a +3 from twin disciplines. This plays around Targon Shield and it gets his little thing off the board. An argument to pop Tails of the Dragon, since Gangplank flip should kill these 1 health units, but I think we're pretty far ahead here, and I just want to be a little bit safer if we can.
Battle warms even the coldest heart.
My coldest heart
Got a
is warm.
surprise for him.
This should be enough overwhelm, right?
Live to fight.
Need to put 15 health out in front of our stuff. We got 6, 9. We in the clear.
We will resist. You cannot hold us down.
Oh, that was your good block down here. This is going to prevent the
Their
most damage
heartbeats
with your
quicken.
0 health unit.
I see every move. You cannot win.
He's gonna have something, right? He's putting
Ready
too much effort into this. He's gonna have a barrier lifesteal.
You've concerns, do ya?
I'll see this through. The dragon spirit awakens.
Yeah, put it down here. Get that more health. Are you just giving up on it? Okay. Game friend. Oh, the big plays. Big plays.
They never stood a chance.
That's right. Never stood a chance. Tell Tryndamere. Alright, so what we got here? Cool, I'm okay with this. Get rid of this Troll Ravager we don't really want. We only have one card that can activate it anyways. That's just kind of a... we took it with something, but a Scrap Shot is very much what we're looking for. One of these. It's not an unconditional removal, but it's as close as you get in Bilgewater. The thing... I mean, I don't know what it's called. I keep calling it, like, Shakedown or Sunk Cost or Sunken Ruins, whatever it is. The 8-mana spell. I don't know if they took that out of all the card pools or not. I haven't seen it quite a while. It feels like about the about where removals should feel in Expedition, it seems, being that ultra expensive. Yeah, but nonetheless, this is reasonable. We don't have to have a 1 since we aren't on the play, on the odd attacks. So I don't feel the need to just completely go for it.
Take a look at this.
I think we can get some value here.
I've done.
He's never attacks with us, right? Once we've played our guy. Then we can attack back. He never blocks. No. Oh.
The winter's
This does it a little better. Tough combo with Fortune Croaker.
Citizen.
Time to get rich. Halt!
It wouldn't have been... I guess that's weird, because like I don't really want to be make it raining, but maybe we should have given him the chance to try to value block that.
I don't change fate, but I can see it.
Really far behind on leveling up this Gangplank.
Say your
We'll just have to assume that that's never going to happen.
Slow down, will you?
That's what we're going to have to do. We have to slow it down.
I suppose.
He has a trick that he can get us. I'm okay with that.
I fail.
There's plenty of killing left.
Think I'm still like a yodel in uniform?
Okay, we're safe now with the Yeti. So, play Gangplank Shakedown next turn. See where this gets us.
Neither the flames nor the depths could claim me, Captain.
Everywhere I go, the light follows.
Well, we gotta protect our big boys here. The Lux is getting in combat. What did I just miss? Hang on, what? So it...
You dare slack on my
The powder keg, but it didn't get rid of the powder keg?
Let them bleed out.
Huh.
Oh, I hear them.
Interesting. Interesting. We'll have to point that out to to riot. That's weird.
Beamer.
Fooled him!
Guess it's not. What does this read? All of your spells destroy when your spell. Oh, it has to damage the enemy or the enemy nexus. Okay. That's bad. I don't think we can come back in this one. Okay, let's give up on this. He's just gonna he's gonna final burst or final spark our thing. He has like 6 cards in hand, and all we have is a double up and shared spoils. We can go ahead and save some time here. This is not a win at 1% of the time game to chase down. Anywho, so let's see. Tryndamere for Sejuani is good. Would much rather have Sejuani's here since she plays to the theme that we're doing. Petty Officer's fine. Ordo Grifter don't really want. Yeah, let's switch to Sejuani. She works great with Crackshot Corsair. We're looking for the tips. Just the tips. That's what people come here for. Oof. Things like this weird me out. Why would you ever want to play more Ashes than Zed? He's playing Piltover. I have to assume this is just like a good cards aggro deck or something. So let's look for our early plays.
I never.
And we'll open with this if he doesn't have anything. It's too easy for him to just play a like a Frostbite Archer or something.
On the trigger. I've got us covered.
I'm on it.
Or that. That's not something I really want to be trading Elixir of Iron for. At least not at this stage of the game. We'll be okay with it at some point.
I am the blade in the darkness. They follow the wrong master.
Okay. Let's see how poorly this one goes. This Twin Disciplines, if he has it, is going to be awful. Okay, good. Then we send everybody here, because he's going to want to put his 2-1 in front of our Mighty Poro.
Sure, boss.
Step lightly.
Awkward turn. I'd love to have a unit to play here, but
Strike for the balance.
it is what it is, as the people say. So I don't think we really want to be slamming Gangplank here. We're not going to be getting value out of this powder keg, so I think we should just play the Reaver.
There is truth in blood.
So how can we line this up? I think here's what we're going to do. We're going to come in and swing.
I've got us covered.
Oh, he just made that. He just made that easier than expected. Let's add Virna. The kind of the idea that I had was that we were going to play Gangplank, make it rain next turn, and then we're just going to get in some kind of attack and do a big Citrus Courier play 2 turns from now. Interesting. So let's say he can give something +3 attack. Where would we prefer that be? Like, what if we do this?
Give me a scar.
Try to survive 1. Would we rather have the Wild Claw die? Would we rather?
The Scar Mother does not
Yeah, I
yield.
think I like
Come
this.
face me.
He's got to have a trick or something here, though, right? The only one we really care about is like his plus attack, minus attack, like harsh winds or whatever. We don't really care about because our units survive. Yep, that's fine. Okay. Not ideal, but not the end of the world. And the downside here is this. For all of this play we want to do next turn to work, this Make It Rain needs to hit face. But let's see, we got a chance for a good one here. Okay, cool. We hit the little guy and the face.
A true Freljordian welcome.
Doesn't feel as good as I wanted it to.
We'll take what we want. Captain's orders. Bullet to the face.
You just no blocked that? Okay, so we just went.
Is the Freljord's true
That was a bold move right there.
A sight for scurvied eyes.
So cool. That was a.
This'll do for now.
Maybe he felt like if we had a rally, or a play like that, he couldn't win. I like rarely play around that rally card, so not surprised to see something like that happen. Here, I am pretty interested in this Battle Fury. We just have so many just big overwhelms to close out these games, and I don't think Shakedown is super important here. We have a touch of interaction. We just picked up a Sejuani. It's still fine, but I love having one copy of Battle Fury with all of these game-closing overwhelms. Well, bud, you here to see us to the end? Watch us get to the final battle? I don't have black hoodies on today, so you can see you can see the kitties in the little video thing. Man, he's shedding like crazy. It wouldn't be a run with the old free-to-play bust unless I got cat hair in my mouth before it's over with. Where was it? Lisa and Fiora. I think I'm getting like more and more okay with just shuffling away these shared spoils. Yeah, that's a reasonable upgrade. Might be letting ourselves get too far behind without dropping these butchers, but this feels like one of these like real kind of grindy, mid-rangey games where we want to try to get value out of this Make It Rain. Kind of want to save it for a barrier in the event that we're getting Fiorid, because we didn't feel like we really had the tools on the evens to really be pushing these Gangplank upgrades. I have to imagine that this is pretty tough to interact with. If he doesn't play anything, it's kind of scary in the event that we're going to get like reposted.
The honor is yours.
But I feel better now. He can Make It Rain down his barrier if that's what he has. Okay, so let the big boys keep rolling.
The waters take. Waters are still.
You know, kind of the unfortunate thing with that is we did have this kind of like Gangplank Make It Rain lined up, but I have to assume that this is going to be pretty tough to actually pull off.
Strength in grace, beauty in the blade.
There is a world where this just doesn't attack.
Strike quickly, try me.
Yeah, this works.
everything I've worked for.
There's plenty of killing left.
And 8 open has to be good, or just good enough, right? I think if we play like Scar Mother. Okay, we don't have the mana for that line.
Time to get
I saw the Scar Mother boost come into hand.
We'll take what we want. The rest will burn.
Hey, Krabby.
Okay, not worried about duo. I think this seems good. We should be able to get this just huge boost next turn if we Gangplank Fortune Croaker. We can have Scrap Shots huge. We can Scrap Shot some kind of blocker if he has one. Seems good. Seems good. Don't really want to Scrap Shot that, but
If I kill you, I don't fortune, stupid.
we can block it twice.
Neither the flames nor the depths.
He's going to get a free attack into our Powder Keg. That's just going to have to be okay. I think we're probably going to get him good with this this Scrap Shot onto Broodmother when she tries to block our Gangplank. He just lets us keep it. Okay, that's a strategy.
Where are you, spirit? I'll show him pain.
So, I mean, there is a world where we lose our Gangplank to trying to Scrap Shot this Broodmother and him having a barrier, but I think it has to be like 80% of the time this just wins the game. Got something. Is he gonna try to like Concerted Strike down a Scar Mother or something?
Hold up.
We can beat that. It's got to be a Concerted Strike or a Detain or something. See if he's got that barrier. It will be what if he's got the barrier, that will be what is commonly referred to as a problem. Or he could have a deny. You know, there's certainly times we don't win this game, but I like how we set this up.
You've concerns, do ya?
Did we get the rage quit? First time today.
Break the bilges.
Okay, good game, friend.
Just another winter.
You can get that bonus damage on the Scar Mother from
No!
the strike. Cool. Let's get ready for that final battle.
I won't stop coming for those who wronged me.
Let's see. I think we want to hang on to all of these. Scar Mother's fine. We want our Overwhelms, not Wave Riders. We want to keep our Overwhelms and our 1 Scrap Shot. It's all good. Cool to get rid of Double Trouble, even though Double Up's not a big upgrade. Jack the Winner is kind of interesting, but I really like how these Yetis play out in this deck. I love having this just like early game aggression that stalls for a little bit that closes out with the big Overwhelms at the end. These play to that pretty well, even if we don't start with them in our openers. Let's get rid of Double Trouble. It's unplayable. It's not unplayable in our deck. It's just it's not particularly good. Chance to get rid of Strong Arm. I think I'm okay with that. Hired Gun is just some good early game. Once we learned that that's not a Nightfall, we don't really want it anymore. You know, don't want any of these. Idol's not good enough. I think we want to keep our 2 early game combat tricks in the elixirs, and then we only want 1 double up. 2 is more than enough. Howling Abyss. Oh wow, too good to pass up. I'm not real stoked about getting rid of the deckhands, but the Howling Abyss is completely insane. What do we have here? Could be convinced to pick up a Yordle Grifter, but I don't think we need it. I think the courier is going to be good enough here. Whether it's just stalling out the game or giving us the 2 attacks, I think that should be good here, especially when we just picked up a huge epic in the, whatever it's called, landmark. Okay, last one. This deck is more than capable. Got an opponent right away. Uh-oh, that's scary. No, here come the Mist Wraiths. Yeah, I think we showed in the previous round or two ago how powerful the just dual Shadow Isles Mist Wraiths deck is. I think we're good to just keep one Make It Rain. Maybe we can powder keg. Oh god, we're never winning this game, are we? Oh god, this is brutal.
I never miss.
All right, well, maybe his draw is just as terrible. What more can we hope for? Would have been nice if we weren't a turn behind on these plunders, but I guess, you know, when your opponent is leading off on turn 3 with a Doom Beast with no Nightfall, but our ability to complain is fairly low. Okay. Okay, interesting. We have to see what he does. If we want to just keep making curved plays. What does this look like? Is he going to hit us with... If he hits us with Nocturne? Well, he can't Nocturne. He doesn't have the mana. Okay. Let's just keep playing on curve. We can add Yeti here, Reaver next turn. Yep. And it's pretty tough for him to get in here. I think as bad as our draw was, this was worse. Battle Fury, so we're gonna be drawing a big boy off of these shared spoils, that's for sure. Oh man. Well, at least he can't really meaningfully add to the board here. It would have been nice to be able to make it rain through that crumble, but alrighty. Seems like we're in a reasonable spot. I like it. I like what I'm seeing here.
I am terror.
Okay, I think with the Troll Chant we can pretty safely just deploy some dudes here. We get the huge 2-for-1, that would be great. It would have to, he can't have like Pale Cascades. That's just not what it's not in the cards for his deck. We ever just kill him here? We can technically try to get a Battle Fury killed, but I'd rather see what he tries to deploy first.
Let's get to it.
See where that gets us. Should have just gone for it, right? Just go for the Battle Fury kills whenever they're there. Oh, you're a big boy, aren't you? +3/+3 from shared spoils. Easy. Good game, friend. So yeah, real happy with how that turned out. I found some nice little combos, the nice little set of cards that work together to get the third 7 winner in a row. So yeah, I mean, I like how we did that. I think like kind of the big recognition that we had here in the beginning was, we took the Tryndamere just because that was what was there. This is kind of a supporting card pool. You can't really do a whole lot with this pool on its own, but we had a plunder card in Shared Spoils. We picked up knowing that the other half of Gangplank being the Sejuani plunder deck. There's a lot of overlap between these two card pools, and so we kind of recognized what we didn't directly find ourselves in raiding party. Raiding party would be the Sejuani side with where the Tryndamere was. Raiding party is the other half of Gangplank, but there's a lot of overlap in all these pools, and we could kind of assemble a raiding party deck, even though we aren't completely in one here. And so we're just going to look at this deck building from the viewpoint of being in the raiding party deck, and kind of the way these pair out is it is a plunder deck, and so if you're looking to level up your gangplanks, or you're going to take advantage of these plunders, like how do you get these? The big thing is to be dealing damage to your opponent on their turn, and of course the best way to deal that is with Make It Rain. We don't really want to be using parlays, although it is an acceptable way to go about it. And so, the powder keg side of this is what shows up with the Mega Keg, and so it is nice to pick up 3 Make It Rains to know that we can get some powder keg value out of them, but that's not really what we're going to be trying to do here. We're going to be trying to catch these plunders, whether or not we do it with the Crackshot Corsairs, or we don't have any but Prowling Cutthroats on the Bilgewater side, or if we're doing it with the Overwhelms on the Freljord side. We need some way to regularly be chunking in for the plunders. And then beyond that, we're really looking to just be a Freljord kind of Overwhelms deck, because that we're going to be having these Gangplanks. We have Sejuani here. To a degree, we have Tryndamere. We know that we're going to have a lot of big late-game Overwhelms. And so, like, how do we get everything to kind of synergize here? We want we want Overwhelms throughout the game to be A, hitting our plunders, and B, setting up these boards to where we just alpha strike with everyone and kill with Overwhelm damage, and just try to take advantage of all the synergies that come about that. So yeah, it's pretty interesting little run here. I'm trying to think if I can put together a way that to say I try to like tier these out. I don't think this really fits that kind of like mold where in a lot of these decks that we can say this is the tier 1 most important cards, this is the tier 2 most important cards. I think with this, at least with this build that we had here, where we were in Mega Keg, knowing that we were going to be seeing some various powder keg cards and wanting to have some plunder effects, I think we could say that getting 3 Make It Rains was kind of tier 1, but we did pass up on 1 or 2 of these. It wasn't something that we had to go out of our way to find, especially now that it costs 3 mana. It doesn't cost 2 mana, it costs 3. And so you can look at that as kind of a high value pickup, but I think beyond that, I think the idea is to know specifically like what cards we're looking for, as opposed to what cards we actually pick up. And the cards that we're specifically looking for are on the Bilgewater side, we want Crackshot Corsairs and we want Prowling Cutthroats. Then on the Freljord side, we want units that have Overwhelm. And then we're just going to need to find our ways to interact. Be that, you have to recognize there is no good removal here. Make It Rain isn't good removal. It's very situational. Scrapshot is okay removal, but it's expensive. Double Up is not really removal. This is more of a sort of pseudo what's the Darius flip? Decimate. And so you need to actively be finding either ways to interact. So we have things like Troll Chant, Elixir of Iron, because you can't really just count on playing big units and attacking and hoping for the best. And so I'm pretty happy with how this turned out. As we got some interaction in the Make It Rain, some interaction in these combat tricks, and then we finished up with some big big board clears in the Scrapshot. But yeah, I think that's gonna do it for this round. I don't have. It's an awkward card pool. There's not a whole lot to call out with it. it's just, you know, you're looking specifically for those cards, the interactive elements, the cards that can turn on plunders, and then the plunder payoff cards. So, you know, specifically the things that we were trying to avoid were things like double trouble, though it's not something that particularly fits in this deck. And then it's kind of hard to see because I think I did a good job of avoiding the cards that we don't want. But you know, things like Strong Arm, Double Trouble, Shakedown, these are all things that we're happy to get rid of. Lonely Poro doesn't play to our themes outside of being a 1-drop. Troll Ravager doesn't play to our themes as well. And so I guess whenever you're playing this on your own and you're looking to evaluate the cards, you know, be mindful of your mana curve. We always try to say be mindful of that. Try to stay away from having too many expensive cards. That can be a real problem with Freljord decks. But otherwise, I think you can look at a card and be like, okay, does this either activate a plunder? So is this something like Crackshot Corsair? Is this a unit with Overwhelm like Mighty Poro? So A, does it activate Plunder? B, is it some kind of Plunder payoff card? So we have things like Shared Spoils. That would be things like Black Market Merchant or Pilfered Goods or or the Tuskerator if you manage to find him. Or C, is it some kind of way to interact? And so, you know, like Boxtopus is a way to interact. Troll Chant can interact. All of the units in our deck, to a degree, almost all of the cards fit that theme. So, I mean, if we want to scroll through real quick, activates Plunder, interacts. Plunder payoff, interacts. You know, this one doesn't really fit, but he draws cards. Hired Gun interacts, activates Plunder, payoff. You know, interact, activate Plunder. Activate Plunder, interact. You know, we can go through the entirety of this list and put all of these cards into one of those 3 specific things. I guess if we want to call out specifically the Howling Abyss and Boxtopus, or not Boxtopus, Fortune Croaker are the 2 that don't fit, and those are just value cards and good. So I think that is kind of probably your big takeaway with this is whenever you're evaluating these card pools, whenever I think, you know, even looking at all of these picks throughout the run, you know, we can look specifically at all of these cards and be like, okay, this activates both of these, you know, of course, Corsair activates Plunder, Make It Rain activates Plunder. All of these cards specifically have a role. And I guess, you know, before we let this go, I do want to say to avoid avoid the unplayables. Try to stay away from things like Monkey Business. Stay away from things like Monkey Idol. They are ways to activate Plunder on your opponent's turn, but it's not important enough to play cards that bad. But that is going to do it for this run. Let me take a look here. Yeah, I was going to say we don't have any rewards. We're gonna have a few weeks of just having rewards after every other run until the next set is released, right? And I don't think they add any more region road, faction road to that point. But, you know, that's going to do it for us today. I hope you all learned how to plunder a little bit better and you had a good time in the process. This is Bust, and we thank you for being here.